I'm M29, visiting my parents, M70 and F65, for a month, leaving tomorrow, but they don't want me to leave until January. Am I wrong for wanting to leave? I've been at my parents' house for the past month and my flight back is tomorrow, but for the past 2 weeks they've been asking me almost every day to stay until the holidays. They say that I should stay here for the pandemic because I live alone back home. I do live alone, but I haven't M30, that I haven't seen for 2 months and I actually miss him. My parents, especially my mom, doesn't seem to care about him and I think she believes it is a very casual relationship, but we've been together for plus 4 years. And, to be honest, I really miss my apartment too. My plan is to return in December for 2 months. I'm an only child and the attachment my mom has for me is very strong. She's always sad after I leave and it hurts me when she asks me to stay. Sometimes I feel selfish for wanting to leave. Sometimes I think they are being too overprotective and wrong for believing I'm better with them. Hope someone can give some perspective on this because I don't have anyone else to talk. Don't think it's right to bring this to my TL, doctor. My parents want me to stay with them instead of leaving tomorrow and returning in December. I miss my home and I don't know what to do. I feel bad for wanting to leave. Adulthood is taken, not granted. You've made your own life with your own partner, that's your priority. You're seeing your parent for a month, that's plenty. Normal for them to miss you, not normal for them to expect you to give up your own life for their sake. You're their adult child, not their emotional support animal. Wouldn't you feel bad abandoning your until January? Your parents need to realize that you have your own life that brings you fulfillment and they should support you living your life. Guilting you because they feel bad and will miss you is actually manipulative, even if they're not trying to be manipulative, and not healthy parenting. It's okay to say, I love you and I'll miss you too, but I am going home tomorrow as planned. I don't want to keep discussing it, because you're making me feel bad. Then end the conversation when they keep going. You can do this in kind and gentle ways, but you still need to do it. And before your next visit, you need to reiterate that you will leave on X date and you don't want them to try to make you change plans. Basically, set the boundary before you visit. Perhaps you can maintain contact over stuff like FaceTime etc. on as regular a basis as you can tolerate. You might feel better knowing you can come to some sort of long distance compromise, and your mom as well. I get why you feel bad, but your parents are wrong for pressuring you into staying and projecting their emotions onto you. It's perfectly normal that you miss your shit. If I hadn't seen my partner in 2 months, I'd be on the very first flight I could get as soon as I got the chance. I think Khalil Gibran said your children come through you but they do not belong to you or some shit like that. Either way, you are an adult and it's time to make an adult decision, based on what is best for you and what you want, not your parents. Your parents are being selfish trying to guilt you into staying. You are an adult and you should make your own choices that are best for your life. If you have and a life where you live now, then that is where you should be. Just curious, but what about your job? Do you have a job where you are living now? I, 36M, am having a hard time adjusting now that the honeymoon phase is over. I know my fiancé, 41F, loves me. I know that. I really miss the little things though. She used to text me to let me know she made it to work safely. I used to get random I love you texts during the workday. She was always DTF, lol, sorry, but now it's very hit and miss. She's too busy at work now to text me like she used to, and when she does, it's usually along the lines of me picking something up after work. We've lived together for about a year now. I know these changes are normal as a relationship grows, but it kinda blows. I'm still in the honeymoon phase, but my future wife is not. Any advice for a dude who's being a drama queen? I know I'm totally being one. TL doctor, the honeymoon phase is over and I want to stop being sad about it. Edit, I just want to thank everyone for your sincere and helpful replies. They have all helped me shed some light on how I'm feeling. Some of those little gestures should stick around long term. it shouldn't become all business and routine. The nature of the gestures may change. For example, it doesn't make as much sense to be texting during the day when you live together. And it may start taking deliberate effort to remember to surprise your partner with gestures sometimes. But she should be doing things that make you feel loved, and if you have a specific thing you want, such as a text during the day sometimes, then she shouldn't be dismissing that because too busy. The other thing that might be going on, though, is that she was pouring it on so thick in the beginning that it was just unsustainable. Needing to text that she got to work safely is pretty extreme. Over the years, maybe that started feeling tiresome and codependent. So, I think you need to evaluate how much of this is you expecting something codependent and unsustainable, and how much of it is that she's potentially falling out of love and or just refusing to put the work into making you feel loved. Does she ever give you any gestures, like random back rubs or picking up something you like or saying I love you outside of the normal routine? Once you've given this some thought, you need to talk to her and tell her how you want this relationship to look. Female perspective here. Maybe she's stopped doing these things because she doesn't realize how much it means to you. In the past I've stopped doing sweet things for my BF out of a lack of appreciation / thinking it doesn't really make a difference to him. But if he told me it means a lot to him and he really likes it, OFC I would continue doing it. Have you told her you appreciate and miss these things? Sometimes all it takes is a little communication. She might not think you care if she sends texts or not. I disagree with the premise that the way forward here is to just accept that your girlfriend won't be bothering to do stuff that she used to do to express her love for you going forward. Keeping a relationship going in the long term takes work, which usually includes making a point to do a few random things the other person likes to show that you care and aren't taking them for granted. Of course it's never gonna be exactly like when you were first dating, but if you have a few concrete and reasonable asks in that regard, she should be willing to make an effort. This request would probably go over better if you asked about how she might like you to do something special for her as well. I agree with all the above. There is nothing wrong at all with saying, hey, baby, you used to text me random sweet nothings. You used to have time for me. I know you're busy, but I miss it and I miss you. I'd leave out the DTF part, that follows the love, usually, so one problem solves another, plus mentioning it might be counterproductive. Are you doing these things for her? Sending her texts, making time for her, dressing in a way she appreciates, etc. If not, it would probably help to do so. If you are, just check in with her. Tell her how you feel, and ask about her feelings about the state of the relationship. I, 24F, hate my period and found a way to possibly get rid of it, but my boyfriend, 24 meters, doesn't want me to go through with it. Due to the genes I have received from my mother, I have a heavy flow. The cramps are bad, but I can safely say they don't stop me from walking or doing anything at times like some women. I pray for y'all. Anyways, my main problem with my period is the blood. It gets everywhere and always stains my underwear no matter how hard I try. I really just want it gone, so I did the bare minimum of research and saw that there's a medical procedure that stops your period for life. I had planned on asking my doctor about it when I could, so I can get more info, preferably from a resource I trust. I mentioned it to my boyfriend in casual conversation, how I couldn't stand my period and found a way to possibly get rid of it. Before I could even finish, he just simply tells me don't do it. Confused, I asked what he meant and he just said that it could be dangerous for me. I guess he's concerned, but that didn't sound like the real reason to me, so I kept prying. I didn't want to not go through with without an actual reason. He tells me that it could affect my ability to get pregnant. Needless to say, it caught me by surprise since I didn't even know he had been thinking about kids. I never planned on having any, nor do I want to for many reasons. The thought of it can just scare me to tears. He said that having kids was one of his life goals and how he'd be there for me every step of the way if we were to. I don't doubt that, but I'm not sure if I could handle being pregnant. I suggested adoption, but that didn't seem to catch his attention. Another problem is, I don't really know if getting rid of my period would affect if I could get pregnant or not. My doctor's office is closed for a while, so I can't really ask now. I'm wondering if anyone knows if it will or not. And if it does, I'm not sure what to do because I always swore myself off of having children ever since I was 12, and years later I still can't bring myself to find the appeal in it. I love my boyfriend naturally, and I'm scared he'd end things because of it. Too long didn't read. I am fed up with my period and found a way to possibly get rid of it, but my boyfriend doesn't want me to do anything because he's afraid I might not be able to get pregnant. I never wanted kids and I don't think I'll ever change my mind about it. My cousin had the procedure and she still bleeds. It also was to sterilize her. She had to try for years to find a surgeon willing to do it. Are you talking an ablation? As far as I know, they wait to do that till you're 40 because the tissue can grow back. My girlfriend is waiting 2 more years to have it done because of this. There are hormonal birth control methods that can stop your period. I have my second Mirena in right now and haven't had a period in a year and a half. With my first Mirena I had it in 7 years and had 6 years of no periods. Thank you. The first useful comment regarding the period topic. I myself have a smaller version of the Mirena and went with the hormonal injection for 7 years and haven't had my period since then. No way of getting pregnant plus no period. Let me say I understand hating your period and wanting to get rid of it because I was the same way and got rid of mine. My periods are the worst. Bad cramps, terrible bleeding. And to top it off, I'd have my period for a full 2 weeks, NKT have it for 2, and then get it again. It was hell. You don't need to be so extreme though. Birth control is a great way to stop having your period. 2 of the ones I've been on, including the one I'm on now, entirely stopped my period after the first 2 months on it. If you want, please feel free to message me and I can talk to you some about which ones helped me. But with your boyfriend, if he is steadfast on definitely wanting kids and you are steadfast on not wanting them, this may be the time to part from each other. You need to be on the same page with your significant other when JT comes to having kids. More often than not, when one person wants them and the other doesn't, resentment is going to fester because someone is going to have to compromise on a topic that should never be compromised on. Do not have kids if you aren't 10,000% sure and excited that's what you want. Don't have kids just to appease your boyfriend, and you can't force him not to have kids to appease you. So I think you are probably going to need to have more conversations with your BF about the future. Wanting or not wanting kids is a pretty huge compatibility issue. As far as your period goes, have you considered a hormonal IUD? I had mine placed 3 years ago and within a few months I stopped having a period. It's fairly low risk, removable whenever and does not permanently affect fertility. You two are headed for a breakup whether you have the procedure or not. You're incompatible on kids and there's no compromise and no one at fault. Give period underwear a go before you sign up for surgery.